Hi, my name's Jacob and this is my story. Before I go anywhere else, make sure you subscribe, make sure you like this video, click the bell to make sure you get notified of any future videos. Like I said before, my name's Jacob and I'm part of the band Brightline. So I became a Christian when I was a teenager, probably about 10, 12 years ago now. And I think in the Christian circles, the word doubt is not something that we talk about. It's not something that we talk about maybe enough, because I think that's something that some of us go through sometimes. I mean, by definition, faith is, putting your trust and belief in something that you may not be able to see or hear or feel, like someone like God. Then I think that doubt can start to creep in. And about a year ago, I started asking, big questions. I started not being able to find the answers to those big questions. So it ended up with me sort of deconstructing everything I knew about who God was, everything I've been taught, everything I've been told, everything people had said to me. I started kind of deconstructing and taking that away to try and understand, who was this God? And that went by for a few months. And I remember one day I was walking my dog, and I was, just kind of trying to think, and I couldn't get my thoughts in order. So I whacked in my AirPods and I put in this album by a band called King's Kaleidoscope. If you've not heard of them, make sure you check them out. They're amazing. And this album was called Zeal. Zeal, to be zealous is something to be, so excited for something. If you're zealous about your football team, then you jump up and down when they score, you stand on tables. And so this album was, zeal for God. And one of the songs came on and it said, did we forget that we're flowing in milk and honey? And it kind of knocked me back for a second, like, wow. Because what they're talking about there is, in the Bible, in the Old Testament, there was this group of people who were saved out of slavery. They literally saved, and they were led through the ocean, but the ocean was like parted and they were able to walk through it, and they went to this place called the Promised Land. They said it was flowing with milk, it was flowing with honey, and they were no longer in slavery, but still they kind of had their heads down and still they complained. I started thinking about, what is that milk and honey for me? All the amazing stuff that God has done for me. So as I was thinking about all of that, I kept walking. And a few songs later, another song came on and it said, wait, did the rainbow fade? Rainbow in Christianity is about God's promises. Did God's promises fade? And I was like, oh my gosh, no, they didn't. God's promises are the same as they were yesterday, today, and forever. It's just me who's changed, and it's actually me who's walked away from God's promises and walked away from the goodness and the amazingness of God. And it was like hitting a brick wall, kind of snapped me back into reality almost. And to the point where I even got, a rainbow tattooed on my arm, because I know that this is something that I want to remember God's promises. And if you find yourself in a place of doubt now, today, and in a few weeks' time, then maybe put some things into place, like remember God's promises. Remember all the goodness that He has done for you. Even if the only good thing He ever did was sending Jesus down to earth to die on a cross, making a way for you to get into relationship with Him. Surely that by itself, is that not enough for us to, give Him praise, for us to give Him everything that we have? Remember, God loves you.